Hey, what's the deal, man? That's your boy Tag from Pro Wrestling Tag. You know what I mean? And I'm just here chilling, on a Thursday morning. I just finished cooking. You know what I mean? I'm doing so much. I'm doing so many things before I move. Into a place until they move me to a new place here in Fort Greene, Clinton Hill. Who, by the way, oh man, and I might make a second video off this too because, the AEW sickos got on my page, right? They got on my X page and was talking there, was talking bullshit. They were spewing bullshit and everything else, It's funny because this video is not about that, but I'm gonna give you a little snippet. I had dumbasses, right? I legit have stupid motherfuckers who actually saved the stuff that I said a couple months ago about AEW, right? About their TV deal and shit like that, right? And I wow. And they try to throw it in my face, yesterday, like that's supposed to change an opinion of mine. Like, you serious, man? You smoking crack, nigga? You know what I mean? Like, you can't be this fucking dumb, B. You can't. You legit can't be stupid. Hold on real quick. Yeah, they were, like I said, they were talking tough to the point where I'm like, all right, let me drop my address and let me see if you keep that same energy. And of course, they made excuses. You know what I'm saying? One person named, AEW Watson, like AE something Watson, right? Bitch ass motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I dropped the address. He asked for my address, right? He asked for my address, and I dropped it. And I guess he must have seen where I'm from because he never said anything about being on the way, to see me and all this other bullshit, right? Like, that's pussy nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? That's fuck nigga shit. Like, if you're gonna talk tough, back it up. You know what I mean? I'm in Monument Park. You know what I mean? In Fort Greene, Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Like, the projects, nigga. I'm in the PJs, motherfucker. You know what I mean? I'm in a place that a lot of people scared to come through. A lot. But this video is not about that. This is about something that I seen yesterday on the JD from New York channel, right? Shout out to JD from New York. I've been a big fan of his for a long time, right? A long time. I mean, because he tells the truth. You know what I mean? He's a native New Yorker like me. You know what I mean? So, he of course, he's going to speak from the heart about wrestling, just like how I feel, right? And I can respect that. And he was doing his AEW Dynamite review show, right? With Chi-Town Smart, Jesse. And Jesse said something. He asked a question when they were talking about the whole Bryan Danielson storyline with Jon Moxley and the combat, the Combat Club and the Blackpool Combat Club. Because we all know Shane is coming. We all know Shane McMahon is going to show up, and so that's not even a surprise. But he asked an interesting question, and it was about Bryan Danielson as a whole. He asked, do you see Bryan Danielson going back to WWE? And of course, JD from New York said no. And Jesse said, I could see him going back to go to the Hall of Fame, and then that's it. And then JD from New York said, yeah, that's the only thing I could see him. Going back to WWE for, and that's it. But not to wrestle. And I was kind of thinking about this a lot more, as the night progressed. And I'm like, WWE doesn't need Bryan Danielson at this point anymore. They don't. They really don't. Like, Bryan Danielson does not provide any sort of value to WWE at this point, in 2024 and beyond. Like, there's nothing there with Bryan Danielson that's gonna make me clam like, oh man, I gotta go see, Daniel Bryan and WWE. I gotta break my neck so he could. Nothing there screams of that happening. There was a report like not too long ago, actually last month, 2 months ago, about Bryan Danielson's, WWE status, right? I think this was going towards All In. And there was a report saying that WWE is not interested in Bryan Danielson. And also in the report, it said that, Bryan Danielson was not interested in WWE, and they were both not interested in each other. But the last part here was confusing because it said that the only way that Bryan Danielson will go back to WWE is if the industry needs him. And I'm like, if the industry needs him to go back. I'm like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. That last part doesn't make any sense because it's almost like you're still saying that, if WWE needs me to go back, I'll go back. They don't need you to go back. They don't need that Bryan Danielson at this point anymore. Right? And there's a lot of reasons why. One reason is because, a lot of people seem to overlook this. He's actually a Vince guy. Yes, Bryan Danielson is a Vince guy. Like, Bryan Danielson was pushed. Yeah, he was pushed and everything, we won the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 30 and all this other stuff, but he was pushed by the Vince administration, believe it or not. Did Triple H have a hand in getting Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson? Did he have a hand in getting him pushed, getting him over? Yeah, he did. He definitely had a hand, with the Authority storyline. Yeah, of course it helped. Absolutely, it helped. But it doesn't seem like there is this. He's not a Triple H guy. Bryan Danielson is not a Triple H guy. Hold on, real quick. Somebody's calling me. Sorry about that, y'all. I had to get a phone call, but Bryan Danielson was a Vince guy. He was a that was a Vince. That was a Vince, that's a Vince creation. Not really creation, but, he was more associated with the Vince administration than anything else, right? The other thing with Bryan Danielson is, the concussions. There's a reason why WWE did not bring Bryan Danielson back to WWE, after he retired. Why they didn't want him to wrestle. Because the fucking concussions. Look at the way how he wrestles. Look at the way he wrestles and such. He gets injury prone, because of that. And, and they were real careful. They were very fucking careful with the way how they was using him, right? And then we go to AEW, he's still doing the reckless shit. And he got injured. He got fucking injured. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is why WWE didn't want to bring him back, because the motherfucker's actually hard-headed. Bryan Danielson is hard-headed. He's fucking hard-headed. If you think about it, he's a hard-headed motherfucker. And also, the third thing too, again, what value in WWE does Bryan Danielson have? In 2024 and beyond. He said he's gonna retire, quote unquote. Wrestlers don't really retire, or he's gonna retire full time. But then again, AEW don't do full time. So what the fuck is the difference? I mean, he's gonna wrestle at some. He's gonna do part time stuff and yada 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 yada. You know what I'm saying? But again, like, there's nothing for there's nothing for WWE to do with Bryan Danielson. And who knows? Who is to say that if and when he does come back to WWE, that he won't have a match there also? You got to take that under consideration. See, wrestlers, the thing with pro wrestlers is that they're very, very, very spotty with some of the shit that they say. They're very spotty. Pro wrestlers never really retire. I mean, the best example I can give is Sting. Look at Sting. Sting wound up wrestling, late, going into his 50s. And he was in good shape. And he still had name value. See, age is nothing but a number in pro wrestling. As long as you still have name value and fucking, you keep yourself in shape, that's all that matters. Why? Because people want to see money matches. But with Bryan Danielson, there's not a money match I want to see. If he's gonna come back, if he's ever gonna come back to WWE, right? The only match that I would love to see Bryan Danielson do is the match we never got a chance to see, and that's him and CM Punk. It boggles my fucking mind that we never got a chance to see that match ever, you know. But again, there's no value in Bryan Danielson in WWE at this point. There's none. Because if WWE really wanted Bryan Danielson, you know, he would have said his goodbyes and everything else. You know, and he would have quote unquote retired from AEW off the back. There's nothing with Bryan Danielson anymore with WWE. I think they pretty much used him up, you know, with everything that they could in WWE. I mean, look, he had a great career. Is he overrated in terms of the pop? Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's a great wrestler, but he's not what everyone makes him out to be. I'm sorry to say. I'm definitely sorry to say. And again, like, there's no value in Bryan Danielson going back to WWE. Or, matter of fact, there's no value in WWE bringing back Bryan Danielson. The only thing that, besides the match with him and Punk, it'll be to put people over. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, there's nobody there. There's nothing there for Bryan Danielson. Nothing. What, the Bloodline storyline? Like, come on, man. Come on, yo. I mean, probably they would do that, but I'm not feeding to see Bryan Danielson back in WWE. I'm not feeding to see WWE bring back Bryan Danielson. I'm not. I'm really not. So I wanted to bring this out, guys, you know what I mean? Because it's something I wanted to mention. You know what I mean? And I'm still waiting for the pussy to come to Fort Greene Projects to confront me. You know what I mean? So I'll be here all day, nigga. You know what I mean? So I'm about to be out. Peace.